Hi all, I am Purni, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Industrial Biotechnology, and I'm handling the subject called industrial waste treatment and disposal. And we are going to see the topic of about characteristics of industrial waste from the different industrial sources. So when we talk about the industrial waste, so whatever the waste that has been eliminated from the various industries or from the various power plant or from the various plants, that can be how it has to be treated. So before getting into the treatment of your wastewater, we have to know what are the various characteristics that has been present in the case of the wastewater. So this can be classified and this can be studied based on a base that has been present as either of a liquid waste or a solid waste. Okay, so both the waste we are going to deal about your, in this case of your characteristic study. So what are the various causes we will be seeing? So when we talk about your wastewater, so when you talk about a wastewater, it can be defined as the waste that can be generated, or a water which is containing the waste as a contaminant that can be generated from the either industrial purpose or a commercial purpose or your industrial or a domestic purposes, right? So whatever the water that has been used, we are going to make that water as a wastewater, so that water it can be treated in such a way so it can be reused. So in the domestic purposes, whatever the water we are making it as an outlet, that can be treated so that the same water can be used as a recycled one for a gardening purposes. So how this water and what are the methods it can be used, and what are the various wastewater that has been treatment has been implemented in the case of the various industries or any power plant generation also. Whatever the waste that has been generated from those industries, how it has to be treated, that can be studied based on your characteristics, whatever it might be there. And those wastewater, before getting into the disposal into the environment, that has to be treated in such a way, so it will be avoiding your environmental issues that can be arisen in the case of your in and around your human living beings. So the next one, when we saw that wastewater, as I have said, it comprises of both the solid and a liquid waste. Okay, so if either it might be the waste that can be from the industrial side or from the domestic side or from your any lands or from your any power plant generated that has been done. So it has a various number of contaminants, the various concentrations. So that is why so what type of a treatment we have to do for those particular wastewater, that has to be studied based on the concentration. So what are the composition of the wastewater? In the sense, it will be comprises of mostly the 99.9% of water by the weight, and the remaining 1% might be your organic matter or inorganic matter or a organism that can be used to remove. And when we talk about the characteristics, as we all know, what are the various basic characteristics, as we have been known that the one is the physical, then chemical, and the biological. So here in this case, when you talk about basic characteristics of a wastewater, the first one is to be the physical. And the physical, what are the various things that comes under our turbidity, color, pH, your odor, temperature, what are the total solids? It might be your dissolved solid or your waste. It can be characterized. And when the chemical, when you talk about the COD and the TOD, that is a total oxygen, organic carbon, demand, your nitrogen, your phosphate. So what is the form of a phosphorus? It is there, it's in a phosphate or a phosphoric form, or if it is of a nitrogen, whether it is in a nitric form or a nitrate form. So those type of characteristics that can be studied due to the chemical impurities. Then the biological characteristics that can be done due to the contaminant, that's purely due to the presence of a microorganisms. That's why the sewage water, whatever the wastewater it has been there, it has a odorness capacity, right? So what are the various characteristics that can be studied is said to be your biological oxygen demand, the oxygen required for your nitrification and the microbial population. So here, when we talk about wastewater, what are the various matter it might be containing? So here, when you talk about floating matter, settlable matter, colloidal matter, the matter in a solution. So here it can be classified based on the how much amount of the solid is being there. So one, when you talk about the total solid, this might be the suspended which has been present. So that suspension we call it as a floating of a matter. And when you talk about a total dissolved solid, this type of a thing that will be present in the form of a colloidal form or a settlable form. Okay, so those type dissolved in the sense it will be present or it will be mixed up so that it can be settled down. And the floating, it will be suspended and it will be presenting in a floating manner so that it will be easy for the wastewater treatment to be done. So when we talked about a total solid classification, it can be this total suspended TSS we used to call, that can be further classified into a non-settlable and a settlable one. So here it can be further classified as a volatile one and a fixed one. Then the total dissolved TDS we used to call, right? So TDS and TSS are the two important main characteristics that we have to study for your any chemical characteristics before doing a treatment for your wastewater. That is the TDS and a TSS. The next one, as we have been known, the physical characteristics of the water, what is the color and what is the odorness and what is the temperature, turbidity, pH, what is the nature of your wastewater, that and all, whether it is of a semi-solid or a solid or it is like your total liquid form. So what are the various or what is the nature of the wastewater that we need to be studied. So then that is said to be the turbidity form. So here the next one is said to be the chemical water. The chemical characteristic of the wastewater, as we all know that it is due to the presence of a chemical in a various forms, that is a COD and a TOC. So when we talk about a COD, it is said to be the measure of an organic material that has been present in the wastewater in terms of the oxygen that is required to oxidize those organic materials, so that the breakdown of a complex one into the simple one to identify what is the concentration of that particular chemical is present, that can be studied with the help of a COD. And the TOC is said to be the measure of a carbon within this organic material that can be turned into oxidized those organic material. And the nitrogen, this is a nitrogen which is present, and this nitrogen is said to be organic nitrogen is the amount of a nitrogen just present in an organic compound. So here when we talk about the chemical characteristics, what are the various chemicals that has been present in a various forms. So that is said to be the one of a form of a metal or one form of your anything that can be present in a various form. So here when we talk about the phosphorus, the phosphorus can be present in the form of a inorganic form as a phosphate or a phosphoric, as well as here it might be present in the form of a protein, that is an organic form. And if it is of a chloride, what is the form of a chloric acid or a what form? So Cl minus. Sulfate, it's a sulfuric, that is a SO4 2 minus. And then the heavy metals. So what are the various heavy metals that has been present and can be seen as a hydrogen, mercury, zinc, cadmium, copper, nickel, chromium. Other than this, there are a various metal that has been present in this thing. So here when we are going for analyzing the physical and chemical characteristics of a wastewater, that plays a crucial role, which means that gives a critical role in the wastewater treatment process. That's why before getting into the any type of a biological treatment for your wastewater, we are analyzing what are the various properties it has. So that can be done with the help of your physical and chemical characteristics. Then when you talk about the biological characteristics, so similar to your chemical oxygen demand, in the case of a biological, that can be studied with the help of your microorganism. So that is said to be the amount of oxygen that we need to stabilize the organic matter using the microorganism. So whatever the organic materials that we have, that has to be oxidized with the help of your microorganisms. So how much amount of the oxygen is being needed for that particular treatment process. So the next one is an NOD, that is your nitrogenous oxygen demand, the amount of your oxygen that has been need to convert the organic nitrogen into the nitrate form by the nitrifying bacteria. So what are the various microbial life of in the wastewater? As we all know that it has a bacteria as a major composition. It has having fungi, algae, protozoa, virus, rotifers, nematodes. So these are the various microbes that can be lived in the wastewater. So when we talk about your what are the so the next when we see about the various forms of the contaminant. So when we talk about the contaminant, so what do you mean by the contaminant? So whatever the pollutant which has been able to pollute the environment in the form of a land pollution or air pollution or any form of a pollution, those pollutant we are called it as the contaminant. So what are the various forms of the contaminants we do have, as we have been seen while we are going for seeing the physical and chemical characteristics of the wastewater. So when we talk about your contaminant, this can be of a liquid as well as it can be of a solid based also. So that is why we have segregated as a suspended solid. So whether it might be the TSS or a TDS, or so this type of things that leads for your aquatic environment. When it has been discharged into the aquatic pond, it makes the disturbs the life of the aquatic animal. So when it has been non-treated as a wastewater, if it has been discharged, it disturbs the aquatic life of your animals, whatever it has been present in the aquatic environment. Then the nutrients. So when you talk about a nutrient, the nitrogen and the phosphate are said to be your one of the main, along with the carbon. So whenever we do the fermentation process, which is required for your growth of microorganisms, when it has been discharged, the nitrogen and the phosphate along with the carbon, that leads to the growth of an undesirable aquatic life. So when it has been discharged into the groundwater in excessive amount, it makes the groundwater to be a polluted one. So these are the various forms. So when we talk about a heavy metal, the heavy metal has been discharged from a waste as a wastewater from the commercial industrial, and if it has to be removed, then the wastewater can be reused for a gardening purposes or any kind of a purposes, not for a potable one. But okay, so the next one is a refractory organics. So whatever the organics that has been includes your surfactants, your phenols, and agriculture pesticides are said to be your things. So the priority pollutants said to be the common carcinogenic, mutagenic, your tetragenic. So whatever the things that we do have, that comes under a category of an organic and inorganic compound that leads to the high acute of a toxicity when it has been found in the wastewater. The next one is a dissolved inorganic. The inorganic constituents like your calcium, sodium, and a sulfate are added to the original domestic water as a result of a water it has to be removed. Then it can be reused. So when we talk about your industrial effluent, that is being mixed with the wastewater. So when we talk about a BOD, so here in this case, when we talk about a sewage, here we have taken a 3 types of a waste that can be generated from a industrial or a domestic or they are commercial purposes, what it has been used. So the first one is of a sewage, and then the combined waste, and then the industrial. So whenever we are having, so this graph shows that whenever we are treating this one, the industrial waste, which plays a major minor role in the case, like your constant rate of a degradation tends to smooth out the rate of the decomposition of the sewage, so that the result shows less due to the nitrogenation of process due to the nitrifying bacteria. So when we talk about your sewage alone, so this sewage, when it has been taken from the industrial wastewater, and this thing, the sewage water of a time, the BOD level has been increased when it has been shown before the treatment. So here in this case, so the rate of the decomposition of the industrial waste tends to be slowed down when we are having the BOD has been increases. So as even though as the BOD has been increased, the effect of your, when compared to the sewage and your industrial waste, the industrial waste shows a lesser decomposition due to the slowdown of your domestic sewage. So here in this case, when it has been mixed up, this plays the BOD plays a major role in the treatment of a wastewater to be used. So when it has been combined, so when the sewage and the industrial waste, when it has been combined, it has shown intermediate level as a combined waste. So how this rapid of a decomposition has been occurred. So the next one is said to be your example of the hazardous waste. So when we talk about the hazardous waste that has been generated by the industry, so what are the various waste that has been generated? So from the different various sources, so the chemical industries or printing industries or petroleum industries or the leather industry or a paper industry, so what are the various types of a waste that can be generated? So when we talk about a chemical, it can be the acid or the base or your alcohols or organic acids, or it might be. Okay, so the next one is the printing. So what are the printing waste which will be there? So what are the various types? The heavy metals, your pastings, solvents, whatever it has been used. The petrochemical, it might be your benzene and other hydrocarbons that has been removed in the case of your processing when it has been lead to the as a wastewater before in treatment. And the leather, the toluene and the benzene, and then the paper that might be your paint or a waste that can be used for and your heavy metal. So when the construction industries, it might be your paint and the solvents, whatever it are will be using. So when the metal here, it might be your heavy metals, this which will be containing your in the sludge and also your paint waste. So the next one, what are the various operations that we have been used for your wastewater treatment? So there are three basic study characteristics that we have been studied. So based on these three characteristics, the operations can be done based on it. So here the first is said to be the physical unit operation. So it is said to be the treatment method that can be applied with the help of physical forces. So in which the major physical forces which will be acting on it for the treatment of your process, like a screening or a mixing or without any chemical. If we are doing any work, we call it as a screening or a example, mixing, flocculation, sedimentation, flotation, and a gas transfer and a filtration. So these are the physical unit operation. So the next one is a chemical unit process. So the treatment in which we are going to remove the contaminant or a pollutant with the help of your chemical or by the addition of your chemical. So those are by your chemical reactions, the contaminant will be removed so that it can be treated as a treated water, so that can be laid as an outlet from the industry. So what are the various examples we can see is a precipitation and the absorption and a disinfection. So when we talk about a chemical precipitation, the treatment is accomplished by producing your chemical precipitate. So when we talk about the precipitation, the precipitates will starts to agglomerate and it will be settles down as a thing. So this type of things that can be seen in the case of a total dissolved solid and a total settled solids. Okay, so those settled precipitate will contain both the constituents. So there is a many disadvantages in this thing, whether the settled one as having your contaminant and it has been free from your water that can be of use, that makes a problem. Okay. So the next one is an adsorption. So when you talk about the adsorption, so here in this case for the adsorption, there is a removal of a specific compound on a solid surfaces using the attractive forces within the body. The next one is a biological unit process. So here when we talk about the biological unit process, before getting into the biological unit process, we have seen a disinfectant. So in our home, when we are having the water tank, we will be using chlorine to be treated for cleaning the tank in the water in twice in a year, right? So that is how they will be having the disinfectant as a chlorine molecule, so that it can be treated as a for a wastewater. So the next one is a biological unit process. So here the treatment method can be done with the help of biological microorganisms through its metabolic activity. So that is why the pollutant can be removed and those water can be used for a reusable purposes. So they can be used to remove. So whatever the things that has been failed in the case of a physical and a chemical unit process, that can be removed with the help of a microorganism. So when we talk about your physical and a chemical, this biological uses has a major advantages since it doesn't affects the environment. So it doesn't gives you the adverse effect on the environment. When you are using a physical and a chemical method, the heat might be generated, it affects the environmental, it gives an adverse effect on the environment. So when we talk about your biological unit process, it has advantages more than the physical and a chemical one. So here in this case, what are the various things that has been used for this one? So it might be classified into a 5 major one. How this biological process is being carried out. The one is said to be the aerobic. So that is said to be the open form. And then it is of an anaerobic. And when you talk about an anaerobic, it is said to be your without the help of your oxygenated microorganisms. It doesn't need the oxygen. So it will be carried out in the case of a closed condition. Then the anoxic condition, and then the combination of these things like a aerobic anoxic and an anaerobic aerobic process also can be carried out. So this can be classified. This can be decided how the need of a microorganism is being accomplished on a growth system. So that can be determined based on a characteristic study that can be studied with the help of a basic physical and a chemical one. So then we can be carried out, then it will be utilized for our treatment processes. What type of a biological process we are going to use, that can be derived on how it has been occurring in nature. So when I talk about your this thing, the aerobic suspected growth, the aerated lagoons can be used, or ASP, that is an activated stretch process, can be used. And for your aerobic attached growth, which means that we'll be using your trickling filter to filter out all the organic and inorganic material that has to be settled out. Okay, so the next one is an anaerobic process. It can be highly used for a sludge and a high strength organic loads. And then what, so this are said to be the various industrial wastewater and the treatment, how we are going to carry out before getting into the disposal. So here, whatever the water that has been collected from the different source, as a collected one and an uncollected one, we are going to treat as a treated one and an untreated one. So the untreated one, if we are leading into the whatever the collected one that we are leading into the aquatic environment, what happens, it affects the aquatic life when it has been treated. So how we are going to treat, and this wastewater that we have been treated is a type of your either an aerobic or an anaerobic one, then it will like your either, and the reactor is said to be your lagoon or a sludge, activated sludge process. Then what are the types of things that we are going to make into the leading into the environment for before without affecting the thing. And when we have been talked without uncollected, so let us take in the domestic, so that we are not collecting anywhere, so we are making that directly into the sewage, right? So that how it can be treated, so that can be treated on a septic tank, and where if it is of an industrial, that can be treated on a site plant. So the untreated one, if we are making into the environment, that affects your ground level of your water. So it leads to the water pollution, so that your water will not be a potable one for a utilization. So the treated one, that has to be done before making the wastewater to be disposable. So here, these are the various sources of wastewater that has been derived from the various industries. So what are the various disposable methods will be seen. Okay, so here when you talk about a textile one, and this textile, what are the various characteristics it has? It will be having your high alkalic and dye and the suspended solids that has been settled, your temperature, your colored dye, and a chemical oxygen, or a various characteristics. And how it can be treated. Before getting into the disposable, we have to treat it. So how we have to treat it? We have to treat it by either your neutralization or a chemical precipitation or a biological treatment. So all your industries, they'll be having your physical and a chemical as well as your biological, but the biological one will give you the efficient one. Okay, so when I talk about a leather, so what type of characteristics it will be having? It will be having your chemicals one. Right, so that is said to be the solids one. What will be the hardness, that is your pH, what is the pH which will be there, and what are the salt it might contain, what are the limes, and those things that comes under the characteristics of a leather. So how this can be treated and disposed, it can be treated and disposed as a various biological, and also your equalization and a sedimentation process. Then the laundry grade. So the laundry grade is said to be the using of an alkali one for a cleaning of your clothes, right? So here we have to do the screening so that any thread or any beads like there which will be present, so that it will be making. So that has to be done by the screening and precipitation of flotation and the absorption. Then the dairy industries, it will be having mainly your protein as a major contaminants, right? So whatever the things that has been there, it will be having your organic matter as a protein and a fat and the lactose that will be having. So that can be removed, that can be treated and disposed before the disposable with the help of an acidification, your various aerated trickling filtration, or your activated stretch process. Then the meat and the poultry industries, that will be having your waste as a major characteristics of organic matter, the blood and the proteins and the fats. So how it can be done? So the same way like a dairy and a meat, it can be done with the help of a flotation and a trickling filtration. Then the beverage industry. So here in this case of a beverage industries, it will be having your starch, right? So those starch on your products which will be containing your nitrogen, so that can be removed with the help of a recovery and a concentration by the centrifugation, the evaporation method. So this digestion of your these things that will be taking a larger time, since it has been utilizing the more amount of a nitrogen. Okay, the next one is a pharmaceutical. So here it will be containing a high amount of a TDS which will be there. That is the total dissolved solid that has been present in a high organic matter that can be treated with the help of your activated sludge process. So the next one is the pickle factory. So here in this case, it has your pH, your coloration of colorants, whatever it is there. Then it will be having your oils. So whatever the things that can be done, that can be done with the help of a good housekeeping, screening, and equalization. Okay, then the coffee will be having SS, and that has to be done with the help of your screening, settling, and trickling filtration. Then the fish company that will have a odor. So like you're exporting an organic, exporting for the other countries from India, there are n number of seafood companies we do have. So that industrial wastewater, whatever is there, that will be having your high amount of a waterness, and whatever the organic acids, that solids that has been there, that has to be treated before getting into the environment as a making that as a output for your from the industry. So that how the treatment can be done, that can be done with the help of an oil that has to be removed with the help of your biological treatment. Then the glass industries, if you take, it can be done with the help of a calcium chloride precipitate. And what are the things it will have? It will have your non-settlable suspended solids. Then if it is of a fuel one, it will contain your oils, right? So that can be done with the help of a prevention of a leakage and then the flotation. Then when we talk about the paper and a pulp industries, it will be having a colloidal and a dissolved solids and an inorganic filter. So that can be done with the help of a settling lagoon by using your biological treatment and the recovery of a byproducts using the flotation. Then when we talk about the steel, and the steel which my steel industries, whatever the things that has been like your pH, your limestone, your alkalis, your oils, your mill scales, and what are the various solids which will be there, that can be made as a wastewater characteristic. So that can be treated before into the disposal into the environment with the help of a neutralization and the chemical coagulation method. And then here in this case, the next one is a metal plate and industries, your petrochemical industries, as we have been seen, it will be having your most of a TDS, your metals, and then the COD to the BOD ratio that has to be defined. So that can be done with the help of a biological oxidation or a chemical coagulation. The paint and the ink, it will having your dyes, colorants, and your resins and the oil solvents. So here, this can be before getting into the disposal into the environment, it has to be treated with the help of a certain point for detention of your paints, your for if we have been used a printing for a 3D tech, then that can be removed with the help of a line coagulation. Then we'll move on to the nuclear waste. So what are the so far we have seen regarding the industrial wastewater. So here we are going, the next we are going to see about what is the waste that has been generated due to the nuclear power plant or a thermal power plant. So here we'll see what are the various waste that has been generated from two sources. So here when you talk about a nuclear waste, and this nuclear waste, there are two types of waste that can be generated. One is said to be the solid and another one is said to be the wet one. So this can be generated in the terms of a low and intermediate level of a radioactive waste. So it might be the saturated one, or it might be at an intermediate level, that is an unsaturated one in a high level. So that can be seen as a contaminant that can be produced from various materials that can be generated by the fission that can be released from the fuel or a cladding surfaces, which means that it can be generated, it can be released from exerted from the nuclear power plant or a thermal power plant. So that we have been named as a LILB, that is a low and intermediate level of a radioactive waste. So here, what are the various waste that can be generated? So as we have said, it will be containing two types of a waste. That is, one is a solid waste and another one is a liquid waste. So the liquid waste is being generated with the help of a coolants, whatever we have been used, the pressurized water reactor or your boiling water reactor. So that has been spent, and then the water will be drained so that it has to be treated before it's disposable. Then the decontamination operations at the reactors will be generating the liquid waste. So what are the various waste? So when we are decontaminating, those making the metals or nuclear waste that has to be inactive form before getting into the disposal into the environment. So that has to be done. So it also includes the decontamination waste, can also includes the crude in the sense that are the corrosion products, whatever they say. Then the acids which have been used. So the next one is a wet solid. So what are the wet solid that has been generated in a wet form? That's said to be your solid form. So whatever the things, so this includes the different forms of your spent ions, your spent resins, your bead resins. So when we are going to treat these types of wet waste, and this wet solid base that can be done with the help of a cement. So why we are using this cement as a thing? Because it is easily available and it is of a low cost, and it makes the process to be a simple one for treating the water to be disposable before into the environment. So the next one, what are the types of resins we use? The powdered resins, and that can be used in the case of a pressurized water reactor as well as the boiled water reactor to make the powdered resin waste as a condensed polyester that can be used for a treating of your wastewater. Okay, so this additional cleaning of this water after the evaporation of the liquid waste that has to be done with the help of a filter aids also. So we'll be seeing in the next topic what are the various types of a process we are using, what are the various unit operation which has been involved in it. So here in this case, these are the various solid waste that has to be treated with the help of your company that has been exerted from your radioactive power plant. So those waste that has to be fed into the conveyor, then compacted, then it has been taken into your handling box so that your waste that can be generated. So here in this thing, the shredder which will be having your cement material for a treating of those waste. And here it means that how this whatever the waste that has been coming out from here, it will be taken to the next process. So here it will be taken to the next process for a burner so that it can be making your boiler to be heat generated, and then it has to be exerted in the form of a gas, or it has to be formed in a thing. So those how it has to be used that can be sterilized with the help of your nuclear power plant. So what are the various improvements that can be done in the help of this technology? So as we have been known, we have been using the various physical and a chemical method. So rather than the physical and a chemical method, as it has a various advantages in the case of your biological treatment that has to be done in such a way so that it might your possible and a desirable one for a technology to be improved. So for reacting your, especially your nuclear or a thermal power plant waste. So that is why we have been seeing the increasing cost of a radioactive waste disposal that provides an incentive to adopt any procedures so that it minimizes the waste quantity that has been leading into the environment as a disposable one. So here there are a new techniques that has been minimized to the treatment and the conditioning step. So some of the techniques development, what are the technology that has been developed? It includes there are a specific inorganic solvents has been used to remove your liquid waste treatment, as well as there are various membrane techniques. So here the membrane techniques, even though it has been very costly, but it gives you the efficient one. The main disadvantage of this membrane technique is said to be your costliest one. But the technology is technique we are using, it is said to be the effective one, efficient one for your waste treatment that has been generated from your radioactive industries, that is a nuclear waste or your power plant generation. So then the dry cleaning of the cloth to reduce the quality of a laundry drains, then the vitrification of an intermediate level of the waste to reduce the volume to be disposed of, and the super compaction of an unburnable waste. So these are the various advantages that can be used, and how the technology can be techniques can be improved as well as the technology has been arisen and can be improved based on whatever the treatment we need for the particular water waste.